Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for the inaugural episode of a new series on my channel that I'm calling Subscriber Spotlight. Every so often I'll be presenting a short interview with one of my subscribers to share inspiring, motivational stories. My guest today is Alyssa Anderson. We got to know each other through Instagram. She's a masters runner who recently completed the Manchester City Marathon in an amazing time of 3 hours and 44 seconds. So let's get right to it. Welcome to the channel, Alyssa. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure. I know we've kind of been going back and forth for a little while there on Instagram, and when I saw your final finishing time at the Manchester City Marathon, I was like, oh wow, I really would love to learn more about this. So I think this is a perfect excuse to get together and do a little talking on the subject of running.
Yeah, thanks.
Cool. So just to get right into it, just so that the viewers can become a little bit more familiar with you, I'm hoping you can give us a short bio on yourself, who you are, where you're from, a little bit about your career and family.
Okay, so my name is Alyssa Anderson. I was born in Oregon. I'm the middle of two sisters, and kind of had a rough childhood. My father left when I was 4, and my mom married and divorced twice more by the time I was 12. So there's a lot of dysfunction in our home, kind of in and out of foster homes and things like that. But we moved to Florida when I was 14 and experienced a lot of that same kind of traumatic type dysfunctional family life as a teenager. But I came out okay. I went through like an apprenticeship program when I was 18, 19, and I became a dog groomer. Since then, I've had my own business as a dog groomer. I met my husband when I was 27, and we got married. He came with 2 kids, and we did foster care, and we adopted 2 kids of our own.
Well, that's awesome.
I moved to New Hampshire. That's where he was living. I actually met him on the internet. So I had moved around a little bit in there as well. I went from, I was born in Oregon. I moved to South Florida, then I moved to Texas, and then I'm in New Hampshire now. So I've been here for 18 years. So.
Wow. Okay. So it seems like you're rather well settled in there in New Hampshire.
Then. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm not going anywhere. I love it
here. Okay. Cool. Cool. So wow. So from rather rough beginnings, it sounds like things have taken a turn for the much better in your life. That's always good to hear.
Yeah.
I'd love to get a little bit on your athletic background and maybe what pushed you into running.
So growing up, my life was such a mess as a kid. Sports wasn't really an option, or I didn't really know about it, or it wasn't really a thing. Although I did have one fall year in 6th grade of cross country running. So I did run for 6th grade cross country, and I actually loved it. And I was really good, but then things happened within our family, and I didn't continue with that. And then as an adult, I didn't do any athletics. I wasn't active much. I was active, but I didn't work out to try to like be fit or anything. So my running didn't start until I was 38. So that was 6 years ago.
Wow. So you started late, as I did. So that's kind of cool.
And what's weird about my husband's a lifelong runner. So even though we were married for all these years beforehand, I never ran with him. So.
That's so interesting. So what flipped that switch for you? What got you actually interested in doing it?
Well, I was really unfit. I couldn't even like run down the street without having to walk. So what started was when I was 38, I realized how unfit I was and that I needed to like gain some physical strength. Because our oldest is autistic,
okay.
and he's so like, it's high functioning. He's actually amazing, and he's come so far. But when he was little, like I couldn't physically help him, like maneuver him, because he would have like meltdowns all the time.
Okay.
And so I wanted to be stronger so I could take better care of like my son and feel stronger. So I joined like a boot camp class at the community center with my husband early in the morning. So I was getting stronger. I did like a lot of body exercises and some short sprints, but mostly like push-ups and planks and things like that. And so I was feeling, I think, more confident and stronger about myself. And my husband, since he's a lifelong runner, he would go to the track and do like runs around the track. He'd go like 6 miles just around the track. And
Gotcha.
so I would go with him, and instead of just playing on the playground with the kids, I decided to do like run a lap, walk a lap. So I was
Okay.
running a lap, walking a lap. And a friend saw me there and she's like, Alyssa, there's this Tough Mudder run. It wasn't Tough Mudder. It was like some kind of obstacle course, 6-mile obstacle course race that she wanted me to do with her. And I was like, I don't run. Like, I'm seriously, I don't run. I'm just walking and running a little, but I don't run. And she's like, yes, you do. So she didn't believe me. So I told her that I would go home the next day and I would try to run 2 miles. And if I could run 2 miles without stopping, then I would sign up for the race with her and train with her. So the next day, I went for a run. I didn't have a watch or anything. So I just ran through the neighborhoods and down the streets and stuff. And then I came home and got in my car and I clocked it. And sure enough, it was a little over 2 miles. I was able to run without stopping. So I called her up and I said, okay, I'll train with you. So we trained for that 6-mile obstacle course race, which was so much fun. And after that, I was hooked. So I've been running.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So, I mean, once you were running and like, where did you go after the obstacle course race? Did you go the usual route of like 5K, 10K and building,
Yeah.
or how did it go?
So I did like local 5Ks. Local 5Ks. I don't think I did any local 10Ks, but I started training for a half marathon. So
Wow.
I did a half. So I started training for a half marathon right away, and I had gotten up to 10 miles for my long run, and I did that first half marathon in 2014, and that was in 2 hours and 10 minutes and change. So
Wow. Wow. So, I mean, that's not a bad time at all, especially for your first time. That's amazing. So yeah, just continue walking us through the highlights of your running career.
Okay, so that was 2014, and then 2015, 16, I just continued with like local 5Ks, and I was good for my age for local 5Ks, so I was happy with it. Like my runs were probably like 5 miles at a time. I never really did any long runs until 2017. Then there was another half marathon I decided to do. So I trained up again until about 10 or 11 miles for my long run. And I did that one in 1 hour and 46, actually 1 hour and 49 minutes. I have it written down.
Oh,
So my
gotcha,
second half marathon in 2016 was 149. And then 2017, I did another half marathon in 146. So it was coming down a little bit, but I really wasn't increasing my miles enough for it to really start, for running to really start like
significantly come down.
Yeah. So I just kind of continued with that with 2014, 15, 16, and then 17. And then 2018, I decided to do an ultra marathon. And that's when I started to put on some miles. I just kind of got bored a little bit with the roads, or maybe I was pushing myself every time. I didn't have any structure to my training. I didn't have a coach or a training plan or anything. So I kind of wanted a break. And so I was still doing like all my weekday runs were just like really short, like 5 miles. And then the weekends, I would do a long run Saturday and a long run Sunday. I still wasn't trained well enough for this 50K that I did. It was really hard, and I feel like I always did like the least amount possible for me to accomplish things.
Well, I don't know. I whenever people who run ultras say that, I always just kind of scoff a little bit inside, because I'm like, you just said I go for a long run on Saturday and I go for a long run on Sunday, and I've never gone further than a marathon myself. So when I hear double long runs, my mind just goes boom. Like I can't imagine going back to back long runs.
That's true, and they were like in the trail too. So I did what I thought was right. But now that I look back on it, like I realize I could have been doing so much more. But so that was 2018, and then beginning of 2019. This is where my running really took off. So in 2019, my husband runs too, so we enter races together, but we, instead of just doing like one of these little local races where I always did well on, we entered a race over, I think in Lowell, Mass. It's called Old Fashioned 10 miler. And a lot of like really accomplished runners do this race. And so I was excited. It was a 10 miler. So I ran that one in 1 hour, 12 minutes and 37 seconds.
Wow, nice time.
I thought that was good. It was 7 minute and 15-second pace. And so the thing is I didn't even place in my age. So like I went home from that race really like just not disappointed, but like knowing like I could be better. Like there's no reason why those other women are faster than me. Like what do I need to do to be fast? Like I can be faster. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know that when that bug bites you and you just want speed. Yeah.
Yeah. So we went home from that race because I felt like I did good, but like I still didn't place or anything. So I was like, I want to be better. And I have a friend. Actually, he was my kid's music teacher. He started coaching for running. He's a big runner, and so he started a coaching company called Miles and Mountains Coaching. And so I saw one of his ads or advertisements on Facebook or something. So I called him up and I asked him if he'd coach me and my husband. So that was right after that race, and that was in 2019, beginning of 2019.
Okay.
So after that, so he started coaching me. So now I'm having actually speed in my, because I never did speed work or anything. So now I'm doing speed work. I'm doing longer midweek runs. Now I'm starting to train like regularly, like doing long runs with speed work, doing speed work days, doing strides, all that structured stuff that really brings out like the best in you and, helps you improve. So I did a half marathon. So I did a half marathon right after that in 1:31. And then, so that was an improvement.
That's
that was
a huge improvement. That's amazing.
And then, let's see, 6 months later, I had done some 5Ks, 10Ks in there, but 6 months later, I did another half marathon in 1:29:19. So that was,
So you cracked this, you went sub 90. That's amazing.
Yeah. But like the biggest thing for me was I went back to that old fashioned 10 miler 1 year later after having my coach 1 year later. Yep. And I did it in 1:04:10. So I took over 8 minutes off of the 10 miler. So that was 6:25 pace. So in 1 year, so that was really exciting for me because then I could see all that, see all that progress.
Oh yeah.
And so I continued with him. I had actually signed up for my first marathon for 2020 and everything shut down. I was training to do the Providence, Rhode Island marathon. Wow. And so, but my training was going so well, we decided just to do it virtually. And my husband crewed me on his bicycle. And I did that in 1:05:24 for my first marathon virtually.
Wow. Give me the time again.
1:05, or no, 1:05, 3:05, sorry.
3:05, okay. That's incredible. For a first marathon, that's incredible.
Yeah, 3:05:25, 3:05:24 for my first marathon virtually. So that was exciting.
Heck yeah.
And and then from there, I did just recently. So after that, so this is 2020. So I did a 5K time trial in August, and I did that in 18:13. So that was exciting.
That's awesome.
Then I did a really hilly 10 miler in August, and that was, again, it was a 1:04:37. So my time hadn't improved from the previous 10 miler, but it was a much hillier course. So
yeah.
And then just recently I did a half marathon in October of 2020, and that was 1:21:01. So that was exciting because I was not expecting that time at all, and neither was even my coach. So that was exciting. And
that's
then
just an amazing time. That just. Whew.
And then we did this marathon just Sunday. So and it was an extremely difficult course, but I don't care. I was so happy with the time. Like it's still an improvement even just over that 6 months time frame. Plus it was a much hillier course. And so that was in 3 hours and 44 seconds.
So that's incredible. Yeah, I'm hoping that we can dig a little deeper into that. Like what, you know, I know there are a lot of people, first of all, who, like me, are incredibly impressed with the times that you're posting on your various distances. But to go into such a hilly course like Manchester and to, I mean, be that close to going sub 3, that obviously took a ton of training. So I'm hoping that you can, I mean, it doesn't have to be micro detailed, but just what are the kind of things that were new for you in that training cycle?
So, well, all my easy runs, most of my easy runs, except for, well, I run like 6 days a week. So I do have a 1 full day off. And then I have one of those days is like a recovery day where it's just really slow, shuffly miles. And then the rest of the days, it's an easy run with strides, or Wednesday I have a workout, and Saturdays I have a long run with a workout in it. So
Okay.
I'm like just I think all the strides and all the like the tempo effort, the threshold effort, and all the like marathon paces. I mean, I'm actually pushing myself in my runs. So.
Yeah, yeah, gotcha.
And
So
also a lot more miles. I peaked at 65 miles for this last marathon, and I think about 60 miles for the marathon before. So
wow, so that's amazing. At 60 miles a week, you're basically, if, because I know if you were put on a flatter course, you would have gone sub 3 for sure.
oh
Um,
yeah, I'm thinking of probably about 255 if it was a flatter course.
yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. On 60 miles a week, you're obviously physiologically you're built to be a runner. Like, I mean, to be able to post those kind of times on that kind of training mileage, that's incredible.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think it's because I'm still new that we haven't like pushed up the miles too fast. And I'm hoping next time I'll be able to go up to like 70 miles.
oh,
Or something.
you're gonna be posting times that are just mind blowing. I mean, I just,
It's exciting.
yeah. I mean, please talk about that. What do you, what motivates you now? What are your future plans? I know there's so much that nobody knows because of COVID, but you know, even if there are virtual races that you've got coming up, what's got you pushing? What's your next step?
I just love running. Even if there was no races, I'd still be out there running. I was trying to find races coming up. There's a racing company here in New Hampshire that does a pretty good job. That's why I was able to do those races, Millennial Running.
Okay.
So they have a half marathon coming up in the end of March. So I'll probably do that. And then there's also a 5K coming up as well. I'll probably do a 10K time trial just on the road this winter. I'll probably do some 5K, 10K type training this winter, and then the half marathon in the end of March, and then try to find a marathon this spring. So
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
yeah. But I just want to see how fast I can get. I mean, I think it's fun, but I really just enjoy running.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, as soon as I saw the kind of times you were posting, even in the last couple of months that you were sharing on Instagram, I was like, oh, obviously this person is just, you know, highly motivated and just naturally talented. And it's just incredible to see the kind of things you're just beginning to achieve, because I know your future is going to be so bright with running. It's just,
Thank you.
you know, hats off to you. And I'd really like to know, I'm curious about how running has changed your life for the better.
I think in every way, it gives me a lot of confidence. It gives me a purpose. Like I feel like I'm actually good at something. Like I never ever really had any hobbies or anything that I thought that I was really good at.
Okay.
And so it feels good to be good at something. It also is nice to have like time alone. Like I run alone and I feel like it's my time where I can just kind of unwind and relax. And a lot of times it's like fun and it feels like play to me. And it just feels like there's nothing better I'd like to do. I just
That's awesome.
like to run. So yeah.
That's so cool. So, Alyssa, I'm just going to ask you, what's the favorite piece of advice maybe that you've received or that you've come up with yourself that you'd like to share with other runners?
one piece of advice that I practice every day is to show up with a good attitude. And that applies to running, it applies to life, it applies to everything. But one thing that I do every morning when I get up and it's dark outside or cold and I'm getting ready for my run, I just think like I get to run. Like this is so cool. I get to wake up in the morning and like put on my shoes and go for a run. And like there's so many people that can't do that, you know, that are injured or they're disabled or for whatever reason they can't do that or they don't do that, but like I get to. And I just feel so grateful that that I just have I think just that attitude, and I think you can apply that to like every part of your life.
Absolutely.
Because you just got to look at the bright side of what you're doing in life. So
Absolutely. Very well said. And Alyssa, I want to thank you so much because even though this was just a sort of a brief visit, you know, the whole arc of your life, it's wonderful. I think it's so positive, it's so motivating, and it's inspiring for me. And I think everybody who watches this is going to walk away feeling better about their running. And I think your story is going to push them to try harder. And that's really the whole purpose of my channel. So,
yeah.
you know, thank you so much for being a part of this. And I'd really like to thank you, obviously, but I'd also like to know if there's any place, any social media links or anything like that that you'd like to share with people in case they want to get in touch with you in the future.
Oh, I'm on Instagram. They can follow me. It's Ally3 Anderson. So ALY3 Anderson.
Perfect. And I'll share that in the show notes,
Okay.
show notes below this video. So again, thank you so much for being a part of this. I think everybody's going to get a lot of good out of this one. So I appreciate your time.
Yeah, this is fun. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, everybody. So as always, get healthy, stay strong, and keep pushing. Peace out. Bye-bye.